Good afternoon, friends, visitors, people that come back after a little while. Thank you for your likes and your subscriptions. I would very much appreciate it if there's a few more of those. But if you like, of course, the themes that I'm presenting, which sometimes I have been told they are inflammatory, controversial, and blah blah blah. But these themes have to be presented, I think. Right now, we have a problem with the theme of abortion, right? That's what they have said, that's what we have been told. The reality, we have a problem with freedom of choice. Now, I have done a similar video in Spanish. It's maybe worded a little bit differently, but but I will try to stay at the same level as I did, state the same essential premises as I did on that. Now, the reality of this, now before we go on this abortion, I want most women, I mean religious, Catholic, Baptist, whatever, I want you to understand when we're talking about abortion, you think, oh well, there's, pills, you can take pills. Well, I want to tell you that according to the Catholic and a lot of the Christian beliefs, the pills that help you to plan your family are considered abortive. Okay? So, if we are going to talk about, hey, you can't have any kind of abortion, we are going to be sliding into this abortive pills, okay, which are basically all, I would say, anti-conceptive. Okay, this ground rule has to be set first, because if not, most people, when they talk about abortion, I hear them talking about, oh, children are being expelled out of the wombs at 9 months. Number one, that's not true. That doesn't happen, okay? If the child is born dead, there are still born births. That's not an abortion, okay? After 6 months, 6 or 7 months, the fetus is able to sustain life of its own. Between 6 and 7 months, there is no doctor that will go ahead and perform any kind of abortive surgery or abortive procedure. Let's take those lies, okay, because that's what they are. They are lies, okay, made in order to make people feel like, the poor child, he will be killed. No, there's no children being killed here. The only children being killed here are in wars over in Iraq, Afghanistan, right now over by Russia. I forgot the name where the country they're having a war over there. Yeah, innocent children, women, and people in general are being killed in wars. So when we talk about killing innocent lives, I would like to precede it with wars, okay? Because that is walking and talking children and women that are being killed, okay? When we're talking about abortion here in our country, we're talking about a woman that gets raped by their own father-in-law, well, not father-in-law, but, well, stepfather, that's what I was saying. Stepfather, stepbrother, sometimes by their own father, by their, these are situations where women are forced to carry the sin or the offense of a man to term. It's not just the 15 minutes or the 2 minutes where she gets violated. Her rights get completely destroyed. But now, after she lost the right to say no to a sexual act, we are going to further glorify that act by telling her, no, that's not choose. You have to have that child. Where is the justice in this? And this is all based on lies, and this is something that it really irks me, because I have studied this for many years in my life, and I understand a lot of it. I understand the human need for it, but it is based in the Bible and other sacred books. Now, I put the other sacred books to the side because even Jewish people, my respect to all my Jewish brothers and sisters, Muslim people, or people belong to the religion of Islam, I apologize for I don't know the proper terminology, have come up to the understanding that you cannot literally guide your life by these books that you call sacred. Okay? There are countries that do this. Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, Iraq. I'm not sure if Iraq still does it, because supposedly we set them free or something a couple of years ago. But there are countries that do this, and we call them, yes, they're called, these countries are backward countries because they deny the science that we have found. Now, apart from that, okay, I have one challenge for all sacred books and all this. And again, my respect to the people who are truly religious. Okay, because I understand there are some people, and I have met a few of them, that are truly religious, and I take my hat off to them because they actually follow and live the philosophies that they preach. They don't just make laws to force other people to live what they believe. They live it themselves. Now, the problem that I have when applying the Bible to any and all people is, let's put the God term aside. We're not gonna argue about God right now. We're gonna argue about the soul. Why are we gonna argue about the soul? Well, let me write this a little bit more so you can see, I guess, a little bit more. The existence of the soul. Why are we going to argue about the soul? Because when you murder somebody, right, there is a separation between the soul and the body. Death, okay, brings about the separation of the soul and the body. Now, this key element right here. Well, what is the soul? Where does it come from? Or where is it? And what does it depend on? These are important things that, all religions have two elements to them. That's an eternal God and an immortal soul. Okay? Those are two things. So, as I said, we're not going to worry about God today. We're going to worry about the soul. Because that thing should be within our reach and under our control. Since the death of Jesus Christ, we have had 2,000 years. 2,000 years to determine what is the soul. If I was peddling, I don't know, cars, politics, whatever, and my key go-to thing was the motor and the transmission, wouldn't it stand to reason that I would focus my attention on trying to define and prove the existence of these beyond just a con artist, a marketman, salesman? Would it? I think I would, Now, so we're going to focus on the soul, which our religious brothers and sisters seem to have forgotten. What is the soul? Well, is that thing that makes us alive. Yes? Well, so roaches are alive. Cells are alive. Rats are alive. They have a soul. So if we kill them, it can be called a murder, right? No? Why not? Oh, because we want it to be a human soul, right? So it's not just being alive, right? Okay, so a human soul is not just being alive. All right, our ability to think, right? Our ability to think and solve problems, right? Well, ants solve problems. Whenever they have food on that side of the aisle, and they're going to get it, and you put a rock in between, they go around the rock. So they're solving a problem. If a chimpanzee sees a fruit inside of a box, he will eventually find a way to get to the fruit around the box. So chimpanzees, they solve problems. So if we kill a chimpanzee, an ant, or something like that, no? Oh, why not? Oh, because they don't have a human soul. So what defines a human soul? Huh? What? Oh, I know. Our ability to communicate. Right? Well, elephants, they communicate. They stomp on the floor, they use their trunks, etc. They tell each other who is the leader of the tribe, where the children are, etc. They communicate. Actually, every social animal communicates. Hyenas also communicate. What? No? They're not. So we kill a hyena, it's not murder, right? Because they don't have a human soul. Well, how do we tell the difference? I am confused. How can we tell the difference between a human soul and the soul of a regular animal? I mean, so far we have thinking, communication, alive, problem solving. Nothing seems to fit you. I know. The ability to solve, right? And well, I'm doing it backwards. I guess we could say, and this is me, okay, to understand and solve complex problems and the ability to use a complex language to communicate these problems that we encounter and solve. I mean, that's the only real thing that we have about all other animals. When you come to what it, being able to prove, it's this ability to understand and solve complex problems and the ability to use this complex language to communicate the solutions and the presentations of these complex problems. Now, this is essentially, we have come up right here, and correct me if I'm wrong. I accept people commenting and say, no, you're wrong, you got this other stuff. Okay. So we determine already what the definition of the soul, the human soul. Remember, we can't forget this because we're talking about the human soul, right? Now, this is something that we're going to have to look at, right? When do we get a soul? I mean, this is okay. Well, in order to be able to determine that, we have to determine things like, okay, so this is our soul. Okay, so the proof that we have this is the development of the brain. This is a key issue for the factors that we just said about the human soul. If the brain does not develop, or let's go to the other side. Okay, when the brain dies, we say, nobody's home anymore. This person is dead, right? So, before the brain arrives, we can also say that there is no body there. There is no soul. You see? Now, you might be thinking that I have been smoking weed. You might be thinking that I don't know how to express myself, that I have a lot of shortcomings. But I will tell you one thing that has been pronounced by the Catholic Church and by many Christian religions. Because see, this is the problem, that this abortion thing has been proposed and pushed essentially by the Christian right. Let's not be naive about it, okay? And it has been used by political exponents to make themselves more important in the political landscape. But this falls apart if people actually start thinking about what they're being told and considering. Now, the Catholic Church, okay, and many other Christian, because they're Christian, I don't care what you want to call them, because they don't follow Christ, whatever, they essentially, the center of their essence is Christ in one way or another. Okay? Now, Catholic Church and other Christian denominations have accepted, and it has been pronounced, their pronouncement, not mine. They didn't say that because I said it. I say it because they have said it themselves. Okay? The fetus, okay, it's a potential human being. Keyword, potential. Is not there yet. They understand this. But the masses, led by the politicians who want to get this, ooh, let's burn down the buildings thing, okay? Oh, there's murder happening there. No, there's not. Even the Christian denomination of the Catholic Church accept that the fetus is a potential human being. And if we're going to punish everybody that throws away a potential human life, well, men who masturbate must be in jail for life. Okay, and men masturbate a lot more than women do. Now, I know this is not something that everybody likes to hear, but it is a reality. See, just because we don't like to hear it doesn't mean that it's not real, and doesn't mean that I pride myself in pronouncing it. It's just that these things need to be said, because we need to understand what is the real problem that we're dealing with. Are we dealing with a real problem, or are we dealing with somebody that wants to make themselves acknowledged in the general, I don't know, in the social media, in the political landscape, in wherever? We have to be able to understand when somebody is conning you for their own interest. This abortion thing is one of those things. Because number one, neither the Supreme Court, nor the Pope, nor any churches whatsoever can prove the existence of a human soul within a fetus. Okay? Actually, we cannot even prove the existence of a soul within a child within the first 2 years. Because the ego, the id, the thing that says, hey, this banana is for me, not for you, not for everybody else, doesn't develop until after the first, second year of being born. Now, we're not going to go that far, because I understand. I mean, this also has a lot to do with the emotions and hopes that we have about something that we're going to make in our future. I mean, when I had my first child, I used to have so many dreams, and if anybody, I remember the first night that was maybe 2-3 weeks after she was pregnant, we thought we were going to lose her, my first daughter. We cried. She cried, I cried, because it was a hope and expectation that we had, but we have to also be realistic. It's my hope. It is my dream. And that is what makes it real. A law that says you must now have this child regardless of whether you were raped, or you were lied to, or you were conned, that does not make that either a wanted dream, nor a real human being. Okay? These are the things that we have to, before we follow all these false politicians that are just, I don't know where the heck they come from. I really don't, because not too long ago, all this rhetoric about, oh, we're going to kill the child and whatnot was non-existent. As a matter of fact, it wasn't too long ago when child labor was a thing that it was like, hey, children are a property. Okay, just like slaves. Wow. And they were considered, slaves were considered like 1/3 or something like that. See, all of these things were also approved by religion. You gotta remember these things, that when people try to lead you into, oh, well, this is, a religious thing and this a God thing. No. Not too long ago, you were saying the contrary. So it's either you changing your mind, okay, or you're not even talking to God. Okay? See, this is the part that is a little bit flaky, but we're not going to get into it yet. The fact of the matter is that we don't have any evidence of the presence of a human soul in the fetus. Okay? And again, if, as we have seen, if you want to look at it scientifically, okay, number one, brain activity is not complete in order for it to be able to have complex language or develop complex language nor thoughts. Okay? It doesn't even have a concept of itself. Okay? So scientifically, the possibility of a fetus having a soul is ridiculous. I live and I die by this. It's ridiculous. Okay, now, if you want to make it religious, even the religious institutions say the fetus is a potential human being. Okay, so let's not let all these politicians and Supreme Court, they want to make themselves, oh, look, the Supreme Court did something. No. We have to have our own brains and our own minds that tell us, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Under every light that you put this under, okay, abortion or the ability to get rid of something that you're not going to bring to fruition with love or with the abilities. I mean, there's people that are like, how am I going to bring this kid? I have no money, I have no roof, I have no education, I have no food. Why do you want me to bring him? What is your purpose? It's not religious, because if it was religious, we would consider the root cause of this problem. The root cause where this is actually happening is men forcing themselves on women by trick or by force. So if they really, really wanted to stop this, they would say, you know what, let's just snip all men. After they become men, we'll snip them until they're ready to become men. Then we'll reverse it. And then when they want to stop, we'll snip them again. It's not a problem. It only hurts a little bit. Huh? What? No? Why not? Oh, but the woman can go through 9 months of pain, labors, a procedure that which she will put her life at risk because of a man that was not snipped. Either way, okay? How does this make sense? I mean, it's all, women. You see, is the desire to put women on the low end, I have for later on a how do you call it? A little story about women and the original sin, which you're going to like. But we're going to hold this for later. So anyways, if there is no evidence of a soul, okay, ahead of during the fetal stages, okay, then there is no murder. Okay? It is non-existent. It is a figment of your imagination. Okay? And again, if you want to call a spade, okay, every time that you take any kind of anticonceptive pills, you know, the anticonceptives, I may be, or preconceptive, anticonceptive pills, are considered abortive by most or all Christian denominations. I'm not going to speak about Jewish or Islam because I don't have that much knowledge about them, with all due respect. I don't doubt they also have their special children like we do. But if we're going to go into anything that attacks the zygote, okay, once it becomes, shall we say, I forget the word, once it becomes, once it joins with the sperm, okay, I don't remember the word right now. I'm probably going to end up deaf mute. But anyways, once anything that affects this union, okay, is considered an abortive method. So then, what are you going to do? You're going to stop taking all these monthly pills? I mean, because that is 80% of Christian women, Catholic and otherwise, okay, control the birth of their families by using these anticonceptive pills. So, 80% of women are already performing abortions if you're going to go down to the zygote. Okay? You will see yourselves in no time at all filled with 14 and 15 children per household. Because that is what religion says. And this abortive thing that they got going on right now is based on religion. It's not based on science. There is no scientific evidence, number one, neither of the existence of, and I'm going to put this here, human soul, okay, nor that the fetus has a soul. Okay? So where do we get off on calling it murder and having people standing in front of it's not. It's just another one of those lies that they like to perpetrate in order to get people to go and do things they want you to do. They want to manipulate the masses, and the masses are easily manipulated because, and I'm gonna say this, we get tired of thinking, and all of a sudden it's just go along with the flow. But that, my friend, is part of your heroism and your responsibility, not to get tired, not to go with the flow. See, that is exactly, okay, what, if you call yourself a Christian, okay, number one, please stop looking at St. Paul, okay? The letters of St. Paul are not Jesus, okay? We'll talk about him later on. Jesus, I think I'm going to go into a little ramble here, okay? The Gospels, which is where you see more or less how Jesus was, okay? And I'm going to put a squiggly line because it's not equals. It's more or less, you can get kind of an idea of what Jesus was. Because the Gospels were written 30 to 70 years after Jesus' death. Okay? There are errors, there are exaggerations, there are misconstructions, misinterpretations, etc. that you have to learn to be able to look through in order to be able to understand what Jesus was about. One thing Jesus was, and that's why he got killed. He was a rebel against the majority. Okay, now, Christians here in the United States, or self-pronounced Christians, are equals to, I'm not going to exaggerate, about 70%. Okay? Christians, you are not pursued. You are not being oppressed. You are the oppressors now. Because everything that seems morally right to a Christian now gets put into law. Which is something that Jesus said, no, politics and Christianity should never be together. However, you and the church, your different churches, have decided that that would be a good thing. It's not. But anyways, that's a little bit more of other videos that I'm going to be getting on about this. But reality again, okay? When it comes to the theme that we have here at hand, which is abortion, okay, is not murder. There is no evidence of a soul, okay? There is no soul, no evidence of a soul before birth or before, let me make this a short word, brain development. If there is no brain development, according to our own standards, there is no murder. Because if there is no brain development, none of the capacities of a human being ever come to be. So it's not murder. See, people like to say it like that because yes, there are a lot of emotional situations where you say, well, he's still there but that's kind of like, okay, if I'm a human being right now and I lose all my arms, my legs, and my head, well, yeah, you would be kind of, well, he's still a human being. Well, let's not lose my head. I over-exaggerate on that. I lost my arms and my legs. You can say, well, he's still a human being. He was so dynamic, etc. But I was at some point, right? So your hope would still be there. However, when a person cannot be shown, like you can't say, if I was born without legs, without arms, you cannot say, oh, he was such a good athlete because I never had arms or legs, right? Now, did I try? Maybe. Maybe not. There's a lot of people who are just born like that and stay that way. There's a few exception to the rule that, try and they make YouTube videos and whatnot, and, you do have to give exceptions for that. But as you see right now, I said exceptions. So the situation demands the exception. As Jesus himself would say, the laws were made to serve man. Man was not made to serve the laws. In this case, where we have abortion without any variations, without any exceptions, we're making the man to serve law, which is contrary to all Christian philosophy. But again, there is not even proof of any existence of a soul. So, I mean, I want you to understand that I did say before this was started that we do not have abortions at the stage of 6 or 7 months. Okay? Once the fetus is able to sustain life of himself, nobody says, hey, you know what, let's just kick it to the curb. No. I don't know of any doctors, and I really have asked around, and if there is such a case, I would say it's an exception. Maybe the kid was born with Zika or something that, it was obvious that his life was not going to extend beyond a certain... And again, you want to hold on for the exception. But, the thing that I say right here, and this is the thing that we haven't even talked about. See, this big word that everybody seems to forget, even on Mother's Day, mother. It's her choice. If she happens to be together with a husband and they have a loving couple, it will be both of their choices. They will make it out of love, out of hope. In that case, that is the exception. Yes, you want to, your child doesn't have a lot of chances to survive, but you're going to be their lawyer. That's fine. Nobody's going to force anybody to have an abortion, not the way that right now people are forcing women to have children that are products of crimes against them. Okay? You are perpetrating a crime. You say, yeah, it's good to rape women and then have them have the babies. Yeah, no. That is not even close. I think Jesus would throw up on this abortion things that the Supreme Court just came up with. And to be honest with you, it doesn't surprise me because it did have to do with people that have violated the rights of women before and have not shown any respect for their own oaths. But anyways, if you like this theme, please put in a like and subscribe. I will try to make more videos as time goes by about this and about things that are inflammatory, as they would say. No, it's just controversial things that they say, hey, let's raise the fire, let's go and hurt somebody. And it's like, no, come on, let's think. Let's not, go and kill people in the name of God or religion or ethics or whatever you want to call it. Let's not force people to do things we believe in. You want to believe in it, that's fine. Nobody's forcing you not to. Again, I told you, United States, 70% are Christian. And the ones that are not is because of things like this, that they're like, what? This is not Christian. And then when you start thinking it's not even Christian, you start thinking, is it even real? So by tightening and squeezing and trying to force people into your beliefs, you are forcing people to question the reality of your beliefs, and that is not good for Christianity or any other religion, to be honest with you. Anyways, have a good day. Think about this. Think about other things, etc. Let's just be good to each other and be happy without hurting others.